What is up, guys? Everyone here back with a new video, maybe a new series, depends how y'all like this. But what I'm gonna be doing today is we're gonna go over how good was the 2022-2023 Detroit Lions season. The record was 9-8. Pretty average. Pretty good offense to horrendous defense. We're gonna go over and see how good they actually were. I have my Jeff Okudah jersey on. He was like number 30 his rookie year. It took me a hot minute to find this jersey because I just got this jersey recently, but it took me a hot minute to find it. But if you like this type of content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and you want to see me do another team. Yeah, you're gonna see. Comment down what team you want me to do. Jalen Hurts threw for 18 for 32, 243 yards, which the defense actually held them pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, like that's pretty good stats for Jalen Hurts because this team won the NFC championship, went all the way to the Super Bowl. Like that's crazy to see. Only held them for 243 yards, no touchdowns, but he did rush for 190 yards. God damn. Not 100. I'm stupid, y'all. 90 yards in the rushing touchdown, which not that bad when you look at it. Golf, 21 for 37, 215, a touchdown and an INT that kind of cost. Oh, 2 touchdowns. I'm sorry, 2 touchdowns and an INT, which kind of cost us the game. Which it didn't really cost us the game, but it was one of the things that hurt the game. But really, like I said, it kind of summarizes what happened on the defensive standpoint. With the defensive standpoint, we gave AJ Brown 10 receptions, 155 yards. Still no touchdowns, which is still kind of shocking because you give up 38 points by only rushing the ball in the pick six, which is crazy. But DeVonta Smith, their other big name receiver, was held for 0 receptions, 0 yards, which is that's great. That's great. Especially being like a really good number 2, where he can go to any other teams and be the number 1 option, and that's crazy. I like that. Let's go with our offense. Like I said, Jared Goff had a decent game. DeAndre Swift rushed for 15 attempts, 144 yards, and a touchdown. Is that a touchdown? Yes, a touchdown, which is great. He had a great game. Jamal Williams, sad to see him go already. Yeah, I'm recording this like I think day 3 of free agency, so that's why I'm recording this. He had 11 carries for 28 yards. He's really like a short 31, 30 inches, 32 type running back, so I'm not too mad about that. We go on the passing game. Hockenson, St. Brown, DJ Shark had pretty good games, with their stats. 8 for 64, 4 for 52, 4 for 38. Both St. Brown and Shark had a touchdown. That's not bad. Offense did really good. Let's go to this defense. What I really say was Jeff Okudah had a really good game. Stopping. Was he on? I don't remember if he was on. I gotta watch the highlights shit again, but he might have been on. What the fuck that shit? DeVonta Smith, which is crazy. But whoever's on AJ Brown, well, he's just big. AJ Brown's like 6'6", 250. Like he's big. Like that's gonna be a mean mismatch, no matter what. But of course, defense couldn't stop the run. Aiden Hutchinson, it's his first game. He didn't really do much. He got a tackle, so it's the first game. Eagles has a really good offense. That's what it is. So we got the next game against the Washington Commanders. This was the first time in like 2 years that like the Lions were actually favored to win the game. The last time they were favored to win the game was against the Carolina Panthers in 2020, which they got shut out in. I try to forget that game. But in this one, the Lions win 36-27. Where like the defense looked really good in the first half, but when you're actually a good coach like Ron Rivera, they do adjustments at halftime, so they give up 27, which isn't bad. But first half defense was really good, and offense had to do their thing. They did good. Jared Goff, 20 for 34, 256, 4 TDs. That is great. 4 touchdowns is a great game. So, like I said, with Jared Goff, 20 for 34, 256 yards, 4 touchdowns, great. He doesn't run the ball, but with Amon-Ra St. Brown, 9 receptions for 116 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's my type of game. That is my type of game right there. Like Flight reacts. With, DeAndre Swift running 5 carries to 56 yards, no touchdowns. No one had a rushing touchdown. They all came from the air. Jamal Williams, 12 attempts for 53 yards, and he didn't have a receiver touchdown either. So all of our touchdowns came in the air, which is really impressive to me. Even with Washington kind of stuffing our run, I don't mind this game. I like this game a lot. It's fun to watch, especially during the off season when I have no other shit to watch in sports. With the Tigers ain't being that good. Let's go to Carson Wentz here. Well, I'm looking at these stats now, and I said the defense played pretty good. I don't know if he was just stat padding in garbage time, or the second half adjustments was really good. Because this dude threw for 46 attempts, 30 completions for 337 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 INT. I don't know what they did different, but he was cooking them boys in the second half, because I don't know him doing this in the first half. Gibson, Antonio Gibson, Curtis Samuel, J.D. McKissick, they had pretty good games, especially Curtis Samuel's receiving. 7 receptions, 78 yards, and a touchdown. That's cool. Like I said, in the first half, Detroit shut them down. It might have been probably a little bit of garbage time where they tried to came back, or the defense was just ass. And this was the first game where Big Boy Hutch got his sack. He got, I think, they said 3 sacks. They said he got 3 sacks. Will Harris with an INT. That's crazy. Hutch got 3 sacks, 5 solo tackles, Not a bad game for him, bro. Not a bad game. That's what we have to say. So, this is their only win in the first 7 games. So, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Where I'm going to split it in 2 different sections, 1 to 6. And I think they finished 8 in 1? 8 and 2? Finish the game 8 and 2, I think, or just be one big section. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out when I'm editing, but I'm gonna show you this next game, the 3rd game of the season. All right, this next game going against the Minnesota Vikings, and they lost. 24-28. This game, it was weird to me. They should have easily won this game. Not easily, but they should have won this game. I remember this game, Dan Campbell going for it 10 times on 4th down, and then the one time they really should have actually went on 4th down, he kicked a field goal, and I'm pretty sure he missed the field goal, the kicker, at the time, Austin Serbert, which I'm like, damn, you really should have went on 4th down that time. And I remember, I don't know who the fuck that was getting burned. I might put the clip in while I'm editing. I don't know who the fuck that was getting burned. But it was 30-something seconds left in the game. Our corners got burnt by some 3rd-string freaking wide receiver from the Vikings, KJ Osborne. And then Goff threw a fucking pick at the end. Bro, where are you throwing that to, man? Come on, man. But let's go into these stats. Goff, 25 for 41. That's a lot of passing attempts just to throw for 277 yards. That's crazy. With 1 touchdown, 1 INT. Jamal Williams, 20 attempts for 87 yards. DeAndre Swift, 7 carries for 31 yards. DeAndre Swift must have been injured for some of the game, because ain't no way he getting that many carries, Jamal Williams. But he got 2 touchdowns. Goff threw a touchdown. What was that, 21? I think that's adding up. Kirk Cousins was cooking. Per usual against the Lions. He always cooks against the Lions for some reason. 24 for 41, 260, 2 touchdowns. This is actually the one game where Justin Jefferson had a bad game. He had 3 receptions for 14 yards. My big dog Okudah shutting him down, which is crazy that we lost, even though he had a good game, but Dalvin Cook had 17 carries for 96 yards at a touchdown. Adam Thielen had a pretty decent game, 6 receptions for 61 yards. What's his name? Amani Oruwariye. I remember he was covering him a lot. He was looking terrible in that game. I'm like, dog, what are you doing? He might have to get cut. It was terrible. Hutch had a pretty quiet game, only his third game. He had like no tackles. He ain't do nothing that whole game. God damn. Defense wasn't really that good. Besides Jeff Okudah shutting down Justin Jefferson. I'm pretty shocked that. No, wait, that was last year. I don't know what I'm thinking about. That was last year when they played against the Vikings. But all in all, they should have won this game. The Lions should have won this game. I don't get why the Vikings won it. But I'm going to put it somewhere where that corner got burnt.
Minnesota offense. Cousins. He's got him. Touchdown. It's Osborne again. And Minnesota.
By KJ Osborne. I don't know that corner's name. This is kind of disrespectful, but let's go into the next game. So yeah, I'm trying to put the picture up, but I can't. Just like this will help. I can't put the clip in it because I'm gonna get copyrighted by the NFL. So I just got these nasty ass pictures up in the back, so y'all know who's who. But this next game, let's get the Seattle Seahawks, which it's another game that they should have won. I don't know why so many fucking asses popping up. All right, there we go. They should have easily won with them only scoring 6 points in the first quarter, 9 points in the second quarter, a touchdown, a 2-point conversion in the third quarter, and then now 22 points in the fourth quarter, which you got to score more than that in the first 3 quarters, but ain't really about the offense. The offense played pretty decent when you put up 45 points. But Seattle puts up 48 points, and that's terrible for the defense. Well, also, Jared Goff threw another pick six in this game, which kind of like, ugh. Who the fuck is that kicker? Damn. I don't know who the hell that kicker is. Dominic Elberu. I don't know who that dude is, but he missed 2 extra points. Yeah, thank God he got cut because this dude was awful that game. But like I said, I'm pretty sure... Yep, Goff threw a pick 6 in this game. Tariq Woolen was who he had a really good game. Not good game. Yeah, good game and good season his rookie year. But let's get to the stats. Jared Goff, 26 for 39, 378 yards and 4 touchdowns and 1 INT. Jack Fox had the fake punt. I'm going to put that clip in there, hoping I don't get copyrighted. If I do, I'm going to be pissed off. But like I said, Goff, 26 for 39, 378 yards, 4 touchdowns, INT. Damn. Jamal Williams had 19 carries, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a big run for like 50-something yards, I think. It was a really good run. Craig Reynolds, 2 carries for 30 yards. That's pretty decent, I'm not gonna lie. What's his face? Was out. DeAndre Swift was hurt, I guess, for like these next few games. TJ Hockenson had a big game. I really miss seeing him in the Lions jersey. He had 8 receptions for 179 yards, 2 touchdowns. Josh Reynolds, 7 receptions for 81 yards and a touchdown. I don't know. I don't see what's his face on here. St. Brown, which is kind of surprising. I guess he was hurt too in this game, but like I said, the offense did great. The defense wasn't good. Geno Smith, which everybody thought, including me, was going to be a bum this year. Everybody thought it was going to go 0-16, 2-14, 2-15 technically. Had a really bad year, but he was showing out. He ain't right back. He goes for 23 completions for 30 attempts, 320 yards, 2 touchdowns. He ran a couple times for 7 attempts for 49 yards and a touchdown. Rashad Penny, 17 carries, 151 yards. He running up and down, left and right, front and center. Dog, 151 yards. That's a lot. That is a lot. That's crazy. And defense, They played pretty good. You know, of course the Lions fumbled. I don't know who fumbled, but someone fumbled. Probably Golf. Like I said, Tariq Woolen had an INT. It's just crazy, man. Our defense wasn't good enough. Rodrigo had a pretty good game. Deshaun Elliott had a really good game. Hutch had a pretty good game. That was really it. You can't give up 48 points, man. This is the reason they weren't in the playoffs. This is probably I'll probably say the main game why they didn't make the playoffs, because they should have made the playoffs. Well, people weren't really expecting them to go 9-8, but you can't give up 48 points in the game. All right, let's go to the next game. So this next game probably has to be my least favorite game. They get completely shut out by the New England Patriots. I was praying to God they'll win this game because of how much I hate Matt Patricia and how much he destroyed the Lions' future. But let's just get into it. We get cooked by Bailey Zappe, what his name is. You get cooked by this bum. Golf, 19 for 35, 229, INT, strip fumble. Crazy. Jamal Williams, 15 carries, 56 yards. Craig Reynolds, I guess, six carries for 24 yards. Josh Reynolds. Damn, St. Brown got goddamn. Well, Josh Reynolds, six receptions for 92 yards. Oh. And then this dude, he didn't even have a good game. Bailey Zappe, well, he had, god damn. Bailey Zappe, 21 attempts, 17 completions, 188 yards, a touchdown, and an INT, which was basically a tech INT, which I remembered. Ramon Stevenson, 25 attempts for 161 yards. That's crazy, dog. 161 yards. You cooking them for 161 yards. Dog. That's crazy, man. This game is making me mad. Like I said, Deshaun Elliott came up with that interception. No one else did anything else in that game. Let's just go to the next game. Their defense, of course, did work. Before I switch, I don't know why he went for fourth down. Let me see. They went for it on fourth down 6 times, and then they didn't get a single time. You go 4 for 12 on third down. You can't do that. And you just can't do that. It was 3 times where they went for it on fourth down. Excuse me. It was 3 times where they went for it on fourth down, and it was in field goal range. Dog, just kick the field goal. Just get some points on the board. I'd rather be okay, I got 3 points on the board. I got 6 points on the board. I got 9 points on the board. And okay, we lose 29-9, 29-6, 29-3. Instead of being shot out 29-0. All right, next game. So this is after the bye week. It's the Cowboys after the bye week. I really want to say it was the turning point of the season, because they fired. Oh my God, I'm looking terrible in this green screen, but y'all deal with it. Just hear me talk. They fire Arby Graham, the defensive back coach. People want Aaron Glenn. No. Okay, I'm gonna say that. I'll edit that part out. Alright, this next game was against the Dallas Cowboys. They lost. This is another game they should have won too. If you look at the score, it looks kind of blowout. Most of the freaking points came in. The last 2 scores was kind of garbage time points. It was 6-10 most of the game. You look at it, they didn't score their last 2 touchdowns until the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. So that was basically garbage time. We're like, okay, the Lions ain't gonna win this game. They should have won this game. I don't want to say. I know one thing. Jamal Williams didn't fumble his whole time in his whole career. But he fumbles in this game. The first time ever he fumbles. Which makes no sense. But let's get into the stats. Jared Goff, 21 for 26, 288 yards, and 2 INTs. You can't throw 2 interceptions and not at least throw a touchdown, but it is what it is. Like I said, Jamal Williams, 15 attempts for 79 yards isn't that good either. And he fumbled. Goff fumbled twice. Actually, Jamal Williams got it back, but Goff fumbles twice. I think one of them was like at the end of the game where like, all right, they lost, you know it. Receivers didn't really do nothing in that game. Brock Wright. I'm sorry, my dog kept barking. This green screen is not bad. I gotta fix it. Like I said, the receivers had a decent game. Let's go to Dak. Dak was 19 for 25. 207 had a touchdown. Zeke, 15 for 57. That's not really a good game. Tony Pollard, 12 attempts, 83 yards, no touchdown. Zeke did have 2 touchdowns, but they were both kind of garbage time touchdowns. Or I think one of them was. But that's cool. CeeDee Lamb had a 4 for 70. Had a pretty good game. That's really it. Defense. They had that one like kind of weird, crazy interception. I think Dak threw. No, it was a fumble. It was a fumble. I don't know who lost it. Noah Brown, I think it was. Yeah, it was Noah Brown who kind of had that weird fumble looking. I'm gonna see if I can put that in the video. But put the clip in where I'm editing. That's really it. That was actually Amari Oruwariye. That's crazy. That is crazy. But that's really it for this game. It was like after the bye week, and no one has gotten fired yet, which is crazy when they're 1-5. But let's go to. I made it a little bit better where the picture is still kind of blurry, but I'm not going in and out, so I'm gonna just keep it like that. But this game is against the Miami Dolphins. Another game where they should have won. You know, you can't give up 31 points with. Well, you're going against Tyreek Hill. What do you expect? He's going to cook you, but let's see how you did, actually. Yeah, Tyreek Hill, 12 receptions for 188 yards. You can't do nothing about Tyreek Hill. He's just going to cook you. Tua Tagovailoa, 29 for 36, 382 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle, 8 receptions for 106 yards. You can't really do nothing about that. Like, yeah. Those two are going to cook you. I'm not too mad about that. Goff had a pretty decent game. 27 for 37, 321 yards and a touchdown. Jamal Williams, 10 for 53, 2 touchdowns. I guess Swift had a little action. I guess he came back for a little bit, or he got hurt during the game because he didn't really do nothing. One thing about this game was, which kind of like, kind of got me was how many freaking what's the face penalties the Dolphins got in this game alone, which they should have won this game. I'm trying to look. Actually, they only had 7 penalties for 55 yards, but the Lions had 6 penalties for 30 yards. It felt like the Dolphins had so many more penalties. Like, I feel like every other play was a penalty for the Dolphins, which the Lions right there should have won off the penalties from the Dolphins, but it's the Lions. And I want to say, before I go to the next game, after this game was at the turning point. They fired the defensive back, Aubrey. I think his name was Aubrey Graham. They fired him. People wanted both Dan Campbell and Aaron Gunn to be fired, which I wouldn't mind. Aaron Gunn would have been fired. I'm like, okay, defense was pretty bad, but I would have been upset if Dan Campbell would have been fired. Like, bro, this is his second year. What do you expect? Like, we ain't going to the Super Bowl. We ain't going to the playoffs. Like, what do you expect? It's his second year, but I kind of understand why people wanted Dan Campbell fired, but I would have been upset. And I definitely would have understood why Aaron Glenn would have been fired. I wouldn't mind if Aaron Glenn would have got fired. But let's go on to this next game. So this game, like I said, this was kind of the beginning of the turning point of the season for the Lions. They beat the Green Bay Packers 15-9. They both coming into this game had a losing streak. Oh, I think the Packers was like on a 3-game losing streak, and the Lions was like on a 10-game losing streak, basically. Nah, it was like actually I think 5-game losing streak. Packers on a 3-4-game losing streak. So just thinking who's gonna win this game coming in. It was really a defensive battle because no one scored a single touchdown in the first quarter. Packers didn't get on the board to the third quarter with touchdown from Al Lazard, and of course, Goff throws a touchdown. Craziness. Then of course Packers kick a field goal, which of course let's get into the stats. You know, it's a really defensive game, so I don't mind these stats being low. Aaron Rodgers, he threw a lot. Goddamn. 43 attempts for 23 attempts for 23 completions, 291 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. That's crazy for Aaron Rodgers. He ran a little bit. He ran a little bit, you know what I'm saying? A.J. Dillon, 11 carries, 34 yards. That's not good. Aaron Jones, 9 carries for 25 yards. Still not that good of a game, but what was it? Alan Lazard had a pretty decent game. 4 receptions, 87 yards, and a touchdown. That's pretty good. I like that. That's crazy. Let's go on the Lions stats. Jared Goff, 14 completions for 26 attempts, 137 yards, a touchdown, an INT. Jamal Williams, 24 carries, 81 yards. No touchdowns. Yeah, I think both touchdowns came from Goff. He threw it to, who the fuck he threw it to? He threw it to Mitchell and Zane Zylstra. And what got me about this game was that interception threw by Hutchinson, caught by Hutch, threw by Aaron Rodgers. He tried to throw it back to his lineman, Bakhtiari, and then Hutch just like got the interception, which was really crazy. And then at the end of the game, Aaron Rodgers is going down the field. I'm looking, damn, this shit gonna be crazy. I forgot who fucking fumbles, but someone fumbles, and then one of our defensive linemen kind of like touches with his hand, so it's like kind of weird. And then I remember Okudah gets burnt by, I think it was Lazard. I forgot who it was. Who the fuck was it? Who the fucking fumbled? Torrin, I don't know who that is, but he catches it, and then Okudah just ripped the ball out of his hand, and then like everybody's trying to get the fucking ball, and of course goes out of bounds. And then at the end of the play, last play, end of the game, incomplete pass. Lions win for the first time in like 6 weeks. It was just a really crazy ending to that game. Really good defensive battle. Showing like, yeah, the Lions have a below average. The Lions win again. Ha! 31-30 against the Bears. This game was kind of crazy. I was kind of expecting like, okay, that's one of those games where like they getting cooked. They're probably gonna lose. I'm like, damn. And then the fourth quarter, they start coming back. Which is crazy. Let's go into the stats. Jared Goff, 19 for 26 attempts, 236 yards, and a touchdown. Jamal Williams had a pretty decent game, 16 for 59 yards, and a touchdown. Kind of iced the game. DeAndre Swift had a touchdown, 6 carries for 6 attempts. I guess he was getting shut down most of the game. I guess how it was, but it is what it is. Justin Fields had a pretty good game. I like Justin Fields. I just hope he doesn't get injured, because I really like to see him play. 20 attempts, 12 completions for 167 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an INT. He was running all over the Lions. 13 attempts with 147 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he had that big run after he threw the pick six to Okudah. And then literally like 2 plays later, he just cooks the whole Lions defense. It's just crazy, dog. It's just crazy. But like I said, defense played pretty good in the fourth quarter. You know, it was getting kind of cooked in the first half. Then they kind of stepped it up. Got a couple stops. That pick six from Okudah, like I said, Hutch had a really good game. He had sack, Julian Okoro had 2 sacks too. Defense kind of stepping up now. See, after they fire Aubrey Graham, defense looking pretty decent. Come back from the offense, going down the field, hitting Khalif Raymond and Tom Kennedy on that last drive by Goff. I love to see that. And getting the game-winning touchdown, winning it 31-30. I also remember the Bears scoring a touchdown and then their kicker just missing the extra point. Oh, it was that big touchdown from Fields, that 67-yard touchdown from Fields. And he mixed the extra points, which was crazy. And then Lions came down the field and won the game. Let's go to the next game. Like I said, I love to see a game like that where they come back and win it. Love to see it. All right, so this next game, going against the Giants on the road. They're 7-3. You thinking, okay, Giants gonna win this game. Lions on a kind of a couple game winning streak, but Giants gonna come in and take care of business. But that's not what happened. Lions kind of dominated the Giants since, I want to say, like, the first quarter they were down by, like, 3 points, but they came back in the rest of the game. They went down the field and just won the game. Giants, put up a couple points in the fourth quarter, garbage time, you know what I'm saying? Well, not garbage time, kind of in the fourth quarter, when the game kind of out of reach. Let's get into the stats, Jared Goff, 17 for 26, 165 yards. Justin Jackson, Jamal Williams had pretty good games. Justin Jackson, 9 for 66 yards. Jamal Williams, 17 catches for 64 yards and 3 touchdowns, which is crazy. Swiss had a decent game. He was in and out. 5 carries for 20 yards and a touchdown. Pretty decent. Receivers didn't really do much. Here and there with Goff only doing for 165 yards. Danny Dimes, on the other hand, was going crazy. 27 completions for 44 attempts, 341 yards. A touchdown and 2 INTs. One of them came from Big Boy Hutch, which is also crazy too. Defense looking a lot better in this game than the last previous games. One thing I was scared of, seeing Kenny Galladay, I was thinking before this game, I'm thinking, damn, Kenny Galladay's going to have a big game. He'll catch for like 20 balls and 310 yards to cook the Lions. But, 2 receptions, 29 yards. That's a season high for him as a Giants. That's a pretty good game for him as a Giants player. It's really good. So he didn't do as bad as I thought he was. Everybody else, Wan'Dale Robinson had nine receptions for 100 yards. That's really good. I like that. Darius Slayton, he had a pretty quiet game, 3 receptions, 48 yards. That's pretty good. And he got a touchdown too. Oh no, that's someone completely different. My fault, y'all. He had 5 receptions for 86 yards. That's still a really good game. But defense played really good. Big Boy Hutch had an INT and a fumble recovery. That's crazy. Kirby Joseph had an INT, I think. Yep. And I forgot who caused the fumble. It was look at the stats right now for each game. From Will Harris. That's crazy. It's just really good game. I love to see it. Build momentum throughout the season. After a bad start, starting 1-6, now you're 4-6. That's just great to see. Let's go on to the next game. This next game came from Thanksgiving against the Buffalo Bills. When I think about this game, I was expecting to win the game. Keep it competitive. I like this game. I like that they kept it close. They really should have won the game, but I like that they kept it close. Let's get into the stats. And I also remember that the Bills played in Ford Field too against the Browns because of a snowstorm. And every fucking stat I keep seeing was like, oh, Buffalo Bills have won back-to-back games since 2016. That's the last time the Lions did it. It was some stupid ass stat like that. It was so annoying. But let's get into the stats of the game. Jared Goff, 23 for 37, 240 yards and a touchdown. Josh Allen, 24 completions, 42 attempts, 253 yards, a touchdown, and an INT. It was that time where Josh Allen was just drawing red zone interceptions. He do like 5 in like 5 games, so it was going crazy. That's weird. But, it's the Buffalo Bills. They have a really good offense. Devin Singletary, 42 carries, 72 yards, no touchdown. Josh Allen, 10 attempts, 78 yards, a touchdown. Pretty good. I like to see that. That's really it. Those were the main 2 people carrying the ball for the Bills. Lions still can't really stop the run. But let's go to the Lions. Like I said, Jared Goff, 23 completions, 37 attempts, 240 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jamal Williams, 18 carries, 66 yards, a touchdown. DeAndre Swift, 5 carries, 19 yards. The defense played pretty good in this game, except that, like, the last drive, of course, where Josh Allen was like a fucking dive, like a 41-yard dive, of course. But besides that, only giving up 28 points to the Bills is really good to me, especially when the defense was struggling the whole season. Like, I think that this was like the best game for the defense the whole year, because Josh Allen, 253 yards is a lot. 2 touchdowns is a lot. 78 yards on the ground is also a lot too. But he does all that, but only put up 28 points. That's good. That's good. Like, I take that any day against a Super Bowl contending team like the Buffalo Bills, where the Lions is going crazy this year with the defense looking ass. Our offense was looking pretty good. Hutch had a decent game. Alex Anzalone had a really good game. He had an INT for a little bit. J.S. Houston, this was like his first game where he came in like he was doing crazy. This is like the beginning of like the J.S. Houston like reign of terror of the season. Like he sacked Josh Allen like twice. It was really good to watch. Like, defense stepping up, offense doing pretty decent. I wish they scored more than 25 points, but I take it, especially against a really good team like the Buffalo Bills. Let's go on to the next game. So this game against Jacksonville probably had to be the best game of the whole season, because like they put up 40 points and the defense only lets up 14. Literally the first play, not the first play. I think the second play of the game was a fumble by Deshaun Elliott. I love to see that. I really love to see that. Trevor Lawrence had a pretty good game, 17 for 31, 179, and an INT. Actually, that's not that good of a game. He ran a couple times, 4 attempts for 32 yards, here and there. Travis Etienne, that's the dude who fumbled from, what's his face? Deshaun Elliott. I remember that. 13 attempts for 54 yards. And I don't know who scored those 2 touchdowns. Looks like he threw it to, who the fuck did he throw it? Christian Kirk had a really good game. 6 receptions for 104 yards. That's really good. He threw it to Evan Ingram, and I don't know who the fuck else he threw it to, but I don't know who. But Evan Ingram had 5 receptions for 30 yards. That's a pretty decent game. I guess he kept one in. I don't know. Why the fuck did he score another touchdown? Oh, this is Riley Patterson just knocking down fucking field goals. But on the offensive side of the ball for the Lions, Jared Goff, 31 for 41, 340 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's just a crazy game. DeAndre Swift, 14 attempts, 62 yards. Jamal Williams, 11 carries, 35 yards. They both got a touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown going crazy. 11 receptions for 114 yards. DJ Chark, 5 receptions for 98 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown got 2 touchdowns. Every possession for the Lions, they scored either with a field goal or a touchdown. That's what we love to see here. This is probably like my favorite game, the best game easily for the Lions. Defense played really good. Like I said, Deshaun Elliott got a fumble. J.S. Houston got a sack. I think Hutch got a sack too. He got a half a sack with Jones. I don't know who that is, Benoit Jones. Kirby Joseph had a really good game. It's just all in all a perfect game for the Lions. Perfect game for the Lions. So let's go on to the next game. This next game was against the Vikings at home this time. What's really funny with this game, the Lions were favorite. Like, the Lions coming in 5-7, and I guess the Vikings were 10-2. When do you see that? When a team with below 500 record favorite against a team that good, 10-2, that good. You don't see it. And of course, the Lions win 34-23, which is crazy. big things I remember from this game, Jameson Williams, like the second play of the offensive drive. First offensive drive was the second play. Fuck, y'all know what I'm trying to say. That big bomb to Jameson Williams, and then at the end of the game where Goff passed it to Penei Sewell, that was crazy. Like, why are you passing to Penei Sewell, especially in that situation like that? Let's just go into the stats. Kirk Cousins has a really great game. 31 for 41, 425 yards. That is a great game. I'm not the biggest Kirk Cousins fan, but that's a game right there. That's a career high right there. He throws for 2 touchdowns. Dalvin Cook, 50 for 23 yards. That's probably one of his worst games of the year, I guess. He fumbled because he tried to do that jump pass. He fumbled. Justin Jefferson was going crazy. He was going crazy. Like, I really want to say that. Okudah was out. That's why. And then, like, they just put anybody on him, and he was just cooking them. 11 receptions for 223 yards. That's just crazy. Like, that's just greatness right there. Like, I got to respect it. T.J. Hockenson got traded. I forgot. He got traded in the season. But he goes for 6 receptions for 77 yards. Adam Thielen, 7 receptions for 65 yards and a touchdown. KJ Osborne, 5 receptions for 38 touchdowns. Also for 1 touchdown. Justin Jefferson, 223 yards. That's a lot. I'm surprised he didn't score a touchdown, but it is what it is. Let's go on to the Lions side of the offense. Jared Goff, 27 completions, 39 attempts, 330 yards, 3 touchdowns. C.J. Moore had that fake punt, goes for 42 yards. That's crazy. Jamal Williams, 16 carries, 37 yards. DeAndre Swift had a quiet game, 6 carries, 21 yards. Justin Jackson, 4 carries for 19 yards and a touchdown. Receiving end, Jameson Williams had that big touchdown, and he had that like reverse play, that end around play was going crazy. I think that was that game. I want to say that was that game. No, that was the wrong. I'm thinking the wrong game. He had that first play, first catch touchdown. What was that like? 41 yards. Josh Miller, 5 receptions for 51 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 6 receptions for 68 yards. DJ Chark killing it, 6 receptions for 94 yards. Like I said, defense played really good. Stopping high-power offense of, well, not stopping, let's say containing, besides Justin Jefferson going crazy and Kirk Cousins going crazy. But actually stopping the run this time, which pretty good. Jerry Jacobs had a decent game. He had a sack on Kirk Cousins. Good few tackles. Jace Houston going crazy. I'm pretty sure he got a sack. Hutch got a sack. Pretty good defense in this game. We love to see it. Good upset. Let's go on to the next game. Lions win it 20-17. Going into this game, they both have the same record, but coming on different ends of the spectrum. Jets started I think they started 7-2, 7-3. Then you started losing games. Of course, Lions started 1-6. They have 6-7 now, which is crazy. But this was a really defensive battle. I remember Quentin Williams not playing. I was thinking, if he plays this game, the Jets are going to win this game because this dude's a beast. He's a beast. But he ended up not playing. Zach Wilson started playing because Mike White was hurt. And it was a decent game for Zach Wilson. Let's get into it. Zach Wilson had 35 attempts, 18 completions, 317 yards, 2 touchdowns and an INT. He always throws out that one INT. He always throws that type of INTs. He rushes a couple times, only gets 7 yards. Dominant Knight, only 13 carries for 23 yards. That's great. This is the best defensive games the Lions had. They definitely shut down the run. Of course, Zach Wilson has talent, so he go do some talented type plays, especially at the end of the game to Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore had 4 receptions, 51 yards. That's great. Garrett Wilson killed it, 4 receptions for 98 yards. That's just, they going crazy on that one. CJ Uzama, I don't know if I pronounced his name right. Both receptions were touchdowns. I remember that. I'm damn. I'm looking at him God damn it. But it is what it is. Let's go into the Lions side of the ball. Jared Goff, 23 completions, 38 attempts, 252 yards and a touchdown. Like I said, just has a really good run defense, so I knew he was going to stuff the run with DeAndre Swift only running for 8 receptions for 52 yards. Jamal Williams only 13 carries and 33 yards. That's just crazy. And Justin Jackson, 6 attempts of 16 yards. That's just crazy. But passing the ball was pretty decent. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7 receptions for 76 yards. What's his name? Khalif Raymond, who had the punt touchdown after they got stuffed at the 1 yard line. They just punted the ball back to the line, so he just took it to the crib. I was lit. But he had 5 receptions for 53 yards. That's just crazy. Brock Wright had that big touchdown, because I remember he dropped it like 2 plays earlier, and then he got the ball on 4th and like inches. He just took it to the crib for the touchdown. I was lit. Oh my god, that shit was crazy. But defense played really good. Romeo Cora got a sack. J.S. Houston got a sack. I'm pretty sure Hush didn't get a sack this game, but he played pretty decent. Jerry Jacobs, I want to get a Jerry Jacobs jersey, but I'll have to buy that shit online, because who really sells a Jerry Jacobs jersey? But he had an INT, had a couple tackles. He had a really good game. At the end of the game, field goal, what's his name? Greg Zuerlein, he just missed the field goal, and the Lions win it. It was really a good game for both sides. Who else was a crazy game? But let's go on to the next one. Any momentum the Lions had going into this game, it was fully on their side, because they're on like a 3-game winning streak. They won like 6 of the last 7 games. Carolina just fired their head coach. They picked up a couple wins, but I thought everybody thought the Lions were going to win this game, but that's not what happened. Fun fact, I was actually at that game. I'll put some clips and videos of me being at the game when I'm editing the video, but for some reason, the Lions could not stop the run. They were going crazy. Dante Freeman, 21 carries, 165 yards. Herbert, I don't know how to pronounce his first name, 12 carries for 125 yards. DJ Moore had a pretty decent game, 5 receptions for 83 yards. Ain't no way Sam Darnold was really cooking us for 22 attempts, 15 completions for 250 yards and a touchdown. Ain't no way. And he had a rushing touchdown too. Ain't no way Sam Darnold be cooking us. He's one of those QBs where he plays bad, but when he go against the Lions, he just be cooking them. Like, what? But somehow Goff threw 355 yards, and he had 3 touchdowns, all going to Zane Zylstra. He had like a career game. 5 receptions for 26 yards, all 3 touchdowns. DJ Chark had 4 receptions for 108 yards. Khalif Raymond, 1 reception for 56 yards. Running game just fell flat. It was just a bad defensive game for the Lions. It looked like how they were earlier in the week. It was just not good. Defense didn't play good at all. I'm not going to say no one's name, because I'm not going to lie, they don't deserve it, how bad the run defense was. Carolina's defense was pretty good. I don't mind it. I really like Brian Burns. He had a really good game. I like Shaq Townsend. He's one of my favorite players on the team. They had a pretty good game defensively, besides throwing fucking 3 touchdowns to Zane Zylstra. But it probably has to be one of the worst games of the season. But let's go on to the next one. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer game like it was the first time they played at Soldier Field, but this one was at home. And the Lions just smacked the shit out of the Bears. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This was like a game, and then okay, you played bad. Let's get all our anger and frustration from that game to this one. And they beat the Bears 41-10. Ooh, that was just crazy. The only thing came out from the Bears from this game was, of course, Justin Fields, who had a really good game, I think. He had, Justin Fields had 10 attempts for 132 yards. He only passed it 21 times for 7 completions for 75 yards. Not that good. People call him a running back for a reason, but I think he's a pretty good quarterback. That's really it on the offensive side of the ball for the Bears. They ain't do nothing all game, which is crazy On the offensive side of the ball for the Lions, 21 completions, 29 attempts, 255 yards, and a touchdown, 3 touchdowns for Jared Goff. I cannot talk. Jamal Williams, 22 attempts, 144 yards, 11 attempts for DeAndre Swift, 78 yards and a touchdown. And this was the game I was talking about earlier. Jameson Williams had that big end around for 40 yards. That should have been a touchdown, but it is what it is. And the receiving core had a really good game. St. Brown, Khalif Raymond, DJ Chark, 40, 50, 60 yards for them, respectfully. Had a really good game. 2 touchdowns for Brock Wright. It was just a beatdown from the Lions to the Bears. One of my favorite games of the year, too. Just crazy. DeAndre Swift had, a touchdown, too. Both and Jamal Williams had both a touchdown. Really good from the defensive side. Ed Hutchinson had another INT. That's 3 INTs. Jay Houston had 3 sacks. Josh Pascal had a sack. Jack Kaminsky had a sack. Hutch had a sack and a half. Really good game from the defense. Shutting the Bears down completely except that one play. Justin Fields had almost took to the crib. But besides that, just a really, really good game from the Lions. They need a game like that. I had to get smacked by the Panthers. Just love to see it. Really love to see it. Let's go on to the last game of the season. Last game of the season, I remember being at work watching the Rams and Seahawks play the game. I was praying to God the Rams would win, but Baker Mayfield sold the bag completely. I'm like, damn. But I'm like, damn, Lions can't make the playoffs, so no point in watching this game, but as a fan, I ended up watching the game, and I loved it. At Lambeau Field, for some reason, the Lions completely struggle. Like, 9 times out of 10 when they play at Lambeau Field, it's just terrible. They're 3 and 25 in the past 30 years at Lambeau. It's just crazy. They're just terrible at Lambeau. But this game is different. They win 20-16. Kind of like a snowy game. So a little bit slow, field goals, a couple touchdowns. Let's get into the stats. Jared Goff, 23 for 34, 224 yards. He didn't throw a single touchdown, which is crazy. Jamal Williams had 2 touchdowns, 16 for 72. He breaks Barry Sanders' record, which is crazy to me. Well, they got an extra game, but it is what it is. It was also just a great achievement for him, breaking one of the all-time records. DeAndre Swift had a decent game, 6 for 25. Had a pretty good receiving game, 7 for 61 receiving yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 6 receptions for 49 yards. Khalif Raymond had that big, dive, 4 receptions for 66 yards. Where did our touchdowns come from? Oh, DeAndre Swift. No, Jamal Williams. Both touchdowns came from Jamal Williams. I think the rest of it was field goals from Michael Bagley, which exactly they got 2 field goals from Michael Bagley and 2 touchdowns for Jamal Williams. Aaron Rodgers had a decent game. Let me go to the stats. He threw 17 for 27, 205, a touchdown, an INT. The INT came crucial for my dog Curry Joseph, who picked him off twice in the game earlier this season, which I forgot to mention. He ran a good couple times. Aaron Jones, 12 for 48, no touchdowns. A.J. Dillon, 9 for 32, no touchdowns either. Who did he do his touchdown to? Looks like it was, it was Allen Lazard, who had 4 for 41, which is pretty good. And Christian Watson was going crazy. I don't know where Okuda was in that game. He goes for 5 receptions for 104 yards. Oh, that dude, Oriore was on him. That's why. Terrible. Hutch had a really good game. He had a couple sacks. I think one of them should have been a fumble. Kirby Joseph had, like I said, had an interception. Hutch has 2 sacks. Alexander Loney had that big stop on 4th down. Isaiah Bucks had a big game. One thing about this game, I forgot what's his face fumbled on the Packers. Who fumbled? Let me find it. Oh, Aaron Jones fumbled. And Lee McNeil, I'm gonna put the clip in.
Jones in the flat got a good block downfield from Teddy, but lost the football, and it is recovered by the Lions.
Lee McNeil like stops a whole Packers player for getting the ball so the Lions can recover it. That's good defense right there. That's what builds championship teams right there. Doing stuff like that, it's just, you love to see it. You really love to see it, and that's what you do on defense. You don't really go for the ball as a defensive lineman. You really want to, but being smart, you block off the Packers player from getting it. That's just really smart to me. That's a play that doesn't show up in the box scores. But in the game, Quay Walker like pushes the one of the Lions training staff. I don't know why you would do that, especially in the how big the game was. I don't know why he wouldn't off the field crying, looking like a big baby. And then last play of the game, Goff to DJ Chark. Game knocks the Packers out of the playoffs. Last game for Aaron Rodgers. He's going as a Packer. It's just crazy. You love to see it. So now, I'm gonna say like kind of like who was the best player, all that. I'll probably say I'm gonna keep it from offense to defense. I'm not gonna give one big MVP award because it's kind of weird. But I guess the offensive MVP would be, I would say Jared Goff. I was thinking St. Brown or Jameson Williams, but I say Goff because when they hit that stretch where they start winning games after that 1-6 start, that's when he picked it up, and he was just going crazy. I just remember, like, after the first game against the Packers, when they won the second game of the season, he just stopped throwing INTs. Like, he didn't throw no more INTs after that Packers game at Ford Field. That's just really good to me. It's just great. Defensive MVP, I probably had to give it to Hutchinson. I was thinking Rodrigo, but I'll probably say Hutchinson. He really picked it up after like the first 3 games of the season. He was just going crazy, picking up sacks. I was also thinking it's James Houston, but he probably came late in the season, which is just, that's why I didn't pick him. That's why I picked Hutch. He started at the beginning of the season. It kind of took him a minute to come up, but was going crazy, at the middle and the end of the season. Most improved player on the Lions, I got to go with Jeff Okudah. His rookie year, he struggled a lot. His rookie year, and in the second year, he got hurt the first game of the season. He was out the whole year, and then now, third year, we think, okay, you got to do something now. You can't get hurt again. You can't have another bad year like your rookie year. And he showed that he can ball. He had really good games. He shut down Justin Jefferson in the first match in Minnesota. And he shut down Devontae Smith at the first game of the year. It was just a really good year for him. I think probably one of the more underrated players on the team this year. You just love to see it. Now I'm going to probably the most disappointing player was Amani Oruwariye. He had like 6 interceptions last year when the Lions were bad. He had a really good year last year, but now he was just getting burnt. Either getting burnt or every other play was a flag on him. He did have a couple good plays this year, but it's just like not really a good year for him. Yeah, it was a good year. Like I said, he had a couple good plays. Just didn't live up the hype that he had last year. He didn't live up the hype. But that's it for this video. If you want to see me do any other teams, please leave it down in the comments. Either on this video or on TikTok. I will be posting a couple clips on TikTok from this video. So if you want to see me do a different team or talk about something else, anything, leave it down in the comment section. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. The outro is playing. See you guys next time.